Hi! I didn't expect the music to kind of go into loop 1 second. Good evening, all. I had people watching for a few minutes, and while the intro was going, and they seemed to have disappeared. And now I'm here. Anyways, yes, as you can tell, I did subscribe to one more month of Talk Studio until I can get a few things sorted out, because at least this I can have a little bit of control with, and I can bring a better program. I was going to just go with just the free version of Talk Studio or StreamYard, and I don't know. I don't like the broadcast quality of it, and there's a few more bells and whistles that I like with this. So I decided to go with this for now. And it was only I forget. It wasn't a whole lot just for the 1 month. And I'll see. If you watched my show from last week, you know I've been having some issues with both OBS and Streamlabs, which is pretty much identical to OBS. It's almost the exact same setup. There seems to be glitches with both, and as I was trying to get things set up to do a live, everything was kind of coming apart. I spent actually 3 days last week trying to sort out the problems between both of them that I could not. I even wrote to StreamYards, and they've been sending me some information back and forth, and they wanted a screen capture to see because it started crashing when I was trying to actually add in text or a timer or anything like that, completely falling apart. So anyways, so that's so I decided to just go ahead, renew this for now. I don't know if I'll get the full year subscription. I'd like to. It's just a bit pricey, but I would like to get it for the full year just because I enjoy this. The only thing it'd be nice is that I had I was building a customized countdown for the beginning of the show that had a little cartoon of me and some things on it and some fun. It was kind of a Warner Brothers-esque looking image, and I thought that would have been fun to sort of build in the timer. And it was a little bit tricky, and then to get it to go through OBS was a bit tricky. So, hello, Paul. Mr. Paul Pate is in the house. How are you today, sir? Always nice to kind of see you in. I know this is a little bit late. It's funny. You're on mine when it's too late, and I'm on you. Try to get on your show when yours is really early on Saturday. I wish I could be a morning person. I've got Enrique coming in, and Enrique is from the West Coast. He can't get here till 9:30 his time, which is 12:30 my time. So he's going to be here in about half an hour. And I've got Adam here. We had Frank coming in. Good evening, Frank. And we've got Adam coming in. I was thinking of actually just doing a little something I'd been kind of experimenting with this week, and I was thinking of doing a little bit of a demo. I actually opened up the wrong screen. I was going to actually open up a second screen. I've got to just set it to the proper one because it is the wrong one. I can get that though easily enough. But I can't believe he's still awake. Yeah, insomniacs, right? My system will get me up sometimes. I'll sometimes won't even get to sleep till like after 3, and then my system wants me to wake up before 9. Like, how am I supposed to survive the day on that little sleep? And it happens quite frequently. But I was going to actually open up here. I don't know how you feel about me doing a drawing demo or not, but I think I might just do one because I just need to kind of kill about 30 minutes here. I usually like to come in and kind of update you on my week and what's going on and what's happening and chat for about half an hour on the show. But let me just see if I can... there hasn't been a whole lot happening this past week. I had a friend of mine visit from London. He usually comes... a very good friend of mine from London, Ontario, who comes down and visits me about 2-3 times a month. And we usually just go and do things, and we went to see a flick because I don't know if this was in the US as well, but I know here they had Sunday was like movie day, and they had $4 movies for the cinema. And so there really wasn't a whole lot playing that we hadn't seen already and wanted to see. We ended up seeing Blue Beetle, if you believe it or not, even though I've been kind of tired of superhero films. And it actually wasn't half bad. I was expecting something a lot worse, and it actually was pretty good. I was fairly entertained for a typical run-of-the-mill superhero movie. But I was I enjoyed it, actually. Sorry, Paul just put up another message. I played a concert against this lady. Connect 4? Oh, okay. So I read that as concert for some reason. My eyes. Connect 4 at a bar tonight. Connect 4, is that the one you drop it in the thing and they drop down and you have to get 4 in a row? It's I think that's it. I think they used to have it used to be like a 70s game. You could, I was going to say board game. It's not quite a board game, but oops, I'm just trying to get something to work here. Still need to there we go. I purchased a one of these little stream decks, which are designed to work with Streamlabs and OBS. So if I start using that, and I tend to use one of those systems again, whichever one kind of pulls its shit together first and works for me. I don't know if this will work with this. I don't know if this will work with this is Streamlabs Talk Studio. If it works with Talk Studio, this could come in very handy. If it doesn't, fine, I'll save it for one of the other systems that it's supposed to work with. But I've been kind of excited about using this, and it does work. It's just the OBS and Streamlabs don't work. So I can't seem to win. That's why I'm going over here and I'm clicking on the computer again. I was hoping that with this, I could just suddenly go just hit the button on this thing and not have to kind of look back and forth and type something and come back and type something and kind of going back and forth like this, which kind of drives me crazy. I could just hit a button on this thing and poof, things magically happen. It would look just like a TV show and have it bounce around. But let me see if I can open something up here. I was kind of doing a bit of drawing, and I had kind of a bit of a thought about this, and I might do this as a little short video. Perhaps I have a couple ideas for a couple of short videos I want to try and do, and I was going to try and do one today. And a very good friend of mine phoned me from the U.S. Her name is Dawn McKechnie. It's somebody I used to go to college with. She's a really interesting person. She's been a good friend of mine for a long, long time, and she moved down to the U.S. I want her as a guest on here. We met when I went to school for animation. She ended up dropping it. It wasn't what she really wanted to do, first of all. I think it kind of drove her a bit crazy. She got frustrated with the program. It wasn't what she really wanted to do. And she ended up she either got really sick or she hurt herself, and she couldn't finish out the rest of the year. She was almost done, and then they told her she had to restart the year when she came back, and she was so frustrated. She says, "Can I just do the final assignments like over the summer or do something?" And they were like, "No, you've got to redo the whole first year." Well, she said, "Screw that." She dropped out, and I don't blame her. But she's a costume maker. And damn good one. I should say costume builder. She and I mean that because she doesn't just sew together a lot of fabric costumes. She makes like what would you like, mascot style costumes. She's built a Godzilla costume one time. She built fantastic stuff, and I want to get her on here and share a bit of what she does. She now lives in the U.S. With a fellow who runs a haunted house attraction, and she helped him kind of redesign, and she helps out with that. She does part of the show. She dresses as like a witch with like full makeup and everything. It's pretty fantastic. If you it's called Castle Blood. It's in Pennsylvania. The guy who names it, his name is Ricky Dick, but he goes under the name Gravely Macabre. And if you Google all that, I'm sure you'll find it. But anyway, she kind of works down there and does that. And I've said for ages, I says, I've got to have you as a guest on this show because she's so good at what she does. And she does art shows. She also goes around and she gets invited to conventions to do art shows and whatnot. So I definitely want to kind of have her on here and share some of what she does. I just wish I had a bit of a bigger audience, but Stream Deck sounds like a medical device. Hey, nails with their business. I know Stream Deck. Stream Deck's actually they've got quite a line of products. They've been around for a long time. And this is actually called the Stream Deck Mini. There's only 6, but the next one up for that has like 15 buttons on it, but it was 3 times the price, and there was nothing in the middle. So I went with the Stream Deck Mini. But I guess what it is, you click the buttons on this, and it changes scenes and camera angles and that kind of thing. So Corey Kerr has a nice one. He's got one of the big fancy schmancy ones that he uses, and he was showing on a show. I asked him, I says, it looks like you've got a Stream Deck down there, and he started talking a bit about it, and it intrigued me, and I said, I definitely have to get one of those and use it for doing streaming. And I did. Now I can't get the damn streaming services to work. So let's go. Saw a cosplay girl at a Comic-Con that talked about costumes. Very interesting. Yeah, I live with people along with Don and some other people who are all costume makers. And it's funny that I never really got into it myself, considering I've been surrounded by it. I love going to conventions every year. And one of the things I loved about going to conventions is seeing everybody wearing costumes and whether they're good or they're bad, because some people are more artistically inclined than others, but even the ones who aren't make these, still go all out, and they work all year so hard to make these fantastic costumes just to bring it to a show and show it off and wear something they're enthusiastic about. And I love that sort of thing. I love just going through the convention and seeing, and I'll take like 1 million pictures of everybody all in costumes. And there's, I guess, a difference between I guess there's a difference between just being a costumer and being a cosplay, because cosplay, you have to kind of be in the part and be in the role while you're in costume and at the convention. And where a costume maker is just sort of wearing a basic costume kind of thing for it. But both are really cool, I think, because both take so much work. They had Fan Expo in Toronto, and Fan Expo is our Comic-Con. It's huge. It's like, attendance-wise, it's like one of I think the 3rd biggest in North America. There's like Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, and then Toronto Fan Expo is gigantic. It may have lost a little bit, though, in the last little while, but it's still ginormous. And I used to go, but it's so overly corporate and so expensive, and so it became frustrating to go. So I stopped going years ago. And they also took away the masquerade, the costume contest, and they changed it for something else that pissed everybody off. And I knew all the people that run the masquerade and the convention, and I even helped them a few times for years, and they pulled the plug on it to do something else, and everybody was so mad, and we boycotted it for years. But Big Bad Mama, how you doing? Green Gargantua or brown? I vote green for a couple of reasons. One, I think the costume looked cooler than the brown one. He was just more frightening and terrifying and scary. And also because it was the person who wore the Green Gargantua costume was Haru Nakajima, who also wore the Godzilla costumes through all the from the 50s through to 1972. And I got to meet him. Back in 1996, I got to meet both of them, actually, Haru Nakajima and oh god, I'm drawing a blank on the second guy who did it from 85 to 95. I just lost my chat. My chat just disappeared. Oh, there we go. Satsuma. Kenpachiro Satsuma was his name. Who Haru Nakajima passed away a few years ago, though, unfortunately. But I did get a picture with him and I got an autograph. And he was the Brown Gargantua. He was also Baragon in Frankenstein Conquers the World. And he did a whole bunch. And he was Rodan in Rodan. But yeah, I got to meet two of them, and I got a picture of me on either side of them. I look. It's so funny because I was working at a beach resort doing caricatures, and so this picture of me, I'm like 20. I was like what 27, and my hair is all long. I've got this like goatee going, and I was sort of tanned, and I'm wearing this terrible jacket and this horrible shirt, and but I was having the time. If I can find it, I'll see if I can bring it up on the screen. If if I can find that picture. Actually, I might know where to find it. Because somebody also I had a formal picture taken, and then I got in touch with somebody who was at that convention years and years ago. This is like 1996, and he sent me two more pictures that he had taken at that convention that he had scanned and sent to me, and I was like, wow, I hadn't seen them in so long, and I forgot there was two more pictures taken, so I got those. But if I can find it, I would. What do I do with them? Dang. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I might. Aha. I forgot I had the one frame. If this comes through, there it is. So that's Haru Nakajima, who did from the original Godzilla in 1954 through to 1972, Godzilla versus Gigan, and that was the guy who picked it up from Godzilla 1985 through to Godzilla versus Destroyer. And that was 1996. And that was me at 27 years old when I used to have brown hair. And yeah, I was. That was a great night. That was one of the most enjoyable experiences of my life. I still have the same damn hairstyle. Actually, I'm getting this cut like in the next couple of days. This is like way too long. It's driving me crazy. And now it's all white. But yeah, that was, and the other one still does go to the conventions. Ken Bachiro still does do them, and now the guy who picked up from Godzilla 99, Godzilla Millennium, who did through the Millennium series, he also goes around and does the conventions with them. There's a few of them, and they'll do the G Fest and that kind of thing. So they still get invited to United States to do conventions, and it's great fun for them. They actually think it's a blast when they see all these people who still love those movies. So now it's all CGI. Even in Japan, it's all now CGI. So, but yeah, so that was probably a longer story than you were expecting for your question, but and actually another thing too is this guy. The younger fellow who started with Godzilla in 1985. Before he did that, he got hired to do Godzilla in 1985 because he wore the Smog Monster costume for Godzilla versus the Smog Monster, and it was this massive, heavy 300-pound costume. And he was, I guess, he was into martial arts and was quite fit, and was the only one of the few people that could carry that 300-pound costume on him. And who played Mila? I'm not sure who did. I know when they had a baby Godzilla in the 90s film, Manila, or no, I forget what it was called, Baby Godzilla Jr. It was somebody who was a little person, I want to say midget, what's the right word? A little person who just actually passed away about 15 years ago, actually. But as for the original, from the Son of Godzilla in like 1967, I'm actually not sure who played that. I could probably look it up and find out, but I'm not sure actually who played it. Actually, I'm not even can't remember the name of the person who played it in the 90s either, but I remember that when that was announced that he had passed away. And I still have some viewers here, which is nice to see. I should get, if you excuse me for one moment, Godzilla's Revenge, yes. Son of Godzilla, Destroy All Monsters, he was also in, and Godzilla's Revenge. And I am just going to copy this link because I do need to send it to Enrique when he's ready to pop in. Enrique is also a big Godzilla fan. I'll have to I'll have to let him know that I'm doing this tonight. And or that we were having this conversation. Send it whenever you're ready. All right. It says he's active now. And seeing just now, Enrique is typing. He's typing a response. That's good. He'll probably let me know when he's going to be on. Be in at 9:30. Okay, perfect. He says he'll be here at 9:30. It's good. So we'll get him here in about 15 minutes. Let's see what else I did. I did say I went to see the Blue Beetle. I did strangely enjoy that more than I was expecting to. Oh, is that right? Yeah. Yeah, good artist, Enrique. I'm hoping to get him to come to take a trip to Toronto sometime. We can come hang out. And what did I just do to my phone? Oops, 1 second. I hate I looked over and everything was like, okay, good. Freaking out for a minute. Oh, yeah, I guess you're on your way out then, I guess. Hey, thanks a lot. Yeah, always nice to have you in. I'm sorry this was kind of a late night tonight, but normally I'd like to do them earlier, but when I have Enrique on, it's I have to kind of do it a little bit later. So, but next week, if he's not in next week, I'll be doing a little bit earlier show, so I can have everybody kind of hang out for longer. But take care then. We'll definitely. I've been watching some of your videos on YouTube, by the way, so I'll have to talk to you about that sometime. Have a great night, though. And then there was one. I think I lost people again. Is this chat staying up to date? I feel like I've I feel like I'm missing something in here. No, I think it's all right. It's as I said, I renewed my subscription to Talk Studio for 1 more month while I sort things out with OBS and everything else, and that's been a pain. But I wanted to open this up. I thought I'd do a little demo. This is something I want to do a video on eventually this week, and I thought I'd do a little bit of a demo until Enrique comes in, because I kind of can't think of too much else to talk about. It's been pretty much, other than the fact that I kind of went to see the Blue Beetle, which wasn't a bad film. It was better than I was expecting. Not great film. It was apparently Blue Beetle was originally supposed to be, I think, for Netflix or something like that. Not Disney, because that's Disney, they own Marvel. DC is their competitor. So it was something else like Netflix, HBO probably, or Paramount, something like that. And it was originally written for that, and then they decided, I guess, at the last minute they were going to they wanted to make it an actual full-blown at the movie. So they ended up changing the script and cutting it down, making it like this 2-hour movie, and then threw it in the movie theater. And this doesn't show all the panels on the side. I have like my library and everything and stuff, but it's not showing that. Interesting. Actually, I think I know why. I'm going to close this off for a minute. I'll bring this back up. I think I have the wrong one. There we go. Not that that makes a difference, but it just left a lot of blank stuff on the sides. It'll be back in a moment. And away we go here. until Enrique gets here. So I was, I watched somebody do a short video. Recently, somebody posted a video, and as he was talking about this, this is something I kind of knew already, but it's something that's always kind of in the back of your mind. You never really think to talk about until you kind of think about it and go, that's actually would be an interesting little demo. And because he was talking about the movie Cars, which is the only Pixar film I haven't actually seen. I don't know why I didn't hear great things about it, and it didn't really appeal to me as much as I kind of like the designs. But I just the movie never appealed to me that much. I don't know if anyone else has seen the movie Cars, but what I found interesting is again, this is something you know when you look at it, but you never really kind of think to discuss. But if you actually look at a car, most people know if you look at the front of a car, the front bumper and headlights always seem to make a face. Sometimes one stick out more than others. Some of them, depending on the shape of the headlights, they can look angry or whatever. And it's kind of quite funny when you see cars like that sort of make these faces on the front. But if you go see the movie Cars, the headlights are not the eyes. They made the windows the eyes. And there was a reason they did that. It wasn't just a creative choice. Well, it was in a sense, but there is actually a design choice, because these are faces. They are based on human faces, not actual people, but they are based on the design of a face. And when you draw a face, our eyes are our windows, if you will. You heard that term. It's windows to the soul. In this case, it's the windows to the design, and they are more expressive that way. So if I can kind of do this, I'm terrible at drawing cars unless I actually have one in front of me. Cars were never kind of my thing, but you have something like this, and the headlights are right here, right? And then you have a bumper. And then there's your wheels here. And the center. I don't need the back of it. It's the front that's important. Is this coming through clear enough? I don't know if it is. So what the movie Cars did is, instead of this, making these the eyes like this, which is what you see a lot of cartoons do, and a lot of what you kind of see when you're looking at cars, they made the eyes here. And they're just black pupils. And then they actually took the bumper and they kind of made it inside the mouth. They made it as if instead of the bumper being on the outside, it's on the inside. There's no bumper. It actually has teeth on the inside like this. And it's a little bit creepy in a way, actually, but it works. So this, in a sense, is the same way a human face is laid out. They've just brought out this part like a car. And the headlights are just headlights. They're like things on the cheeks. So this is really crude. This is very messy, by the way. But in fact, if this had a nose, it would be here like this, right? They don't have noses, though. Some of them, they subtly made something on the front, kind of like a nose. But in this case, it doesn't. Because if you look at a face... I should make that a little bit bigger. Let's go a little bit larger. So you do it with the construction of the head, right? I'm doing this really lightly. And you build off of it down here, like the jaw, which joins up. And this is actually the skull here. The skull actually comes through the end here. And this right here, which is where the cheeks come out, is basically where the hood is. Our eyes which is the windows right here. What this is here is what this is here. And then this would kind of be the bumper, if you will. And then the mouth is here. And I believe this was done completely on purpose. I think they really sat and thought through the design of this thing to make them more expressive and to be able to animate the faces a little bit more, to animate them a little bit more expressively. And this just looks messy. I had the wrong angle. And there it is. Mouth is a little bit low again. Because if it had a nose, or to put a nose on, it would probably go here. Right. So that's why in cars they put the eyes right inside the windows as opposed to putting them on the headlights. They give it more expression, and the windows is what it sat out there in blank. There wouldn't have been anything in them. I think they also didn't know really what to do with the windows because there's no humans in cars. But you have this larger area that could be more expressive and they could move around to be much more visible. And I think it works better in the end is to make it based off of that. So that is that, if you will. And Enrique should be here momentarily. Or no, what's the time? No, I still got another 7 or 8 minutes. Sorry, somebody was sending me a message. I'm sort of in this Facebook group about Gen X. I think it's so funny that Gen X is supposed to be the don't give a crap generation, which sort of is, and yet that Gen X group, they're so whiny and bitchy about each other, about being that way, and yet they... some people get angry and they want to leave the group, and it's so bizarre that people have arguments and fights in that group about political standings and whatnot, and I just think it's so funny. But anyways, there's a lot of stuff that people post in there that are bring back a lot of memories about my time growing up in the 70s. It was definitely a very different era. I'm just going to close this off in a minute. Interesting thing with 70s is that I think people don't realize that we didn't even have a VCR until 1984. We got our first VCR and a microwave. I don't think we even had the microwave until around the same year, around 83 or 84, because I remember we moved from grew up in London, and we moved from one place to another, still within London. And in the first house, I don't remember owning a microwave, and I don't remember ever owning a VCR. We had the disc player. Before that, they used to have they're not laser discs. These are the RCA discs that look like records, and they were encased in plastic, and you had to slide it into the machine where it would hook onto the section inside that held onto the record piece, and then you slid the case back out. The case usually had like a nice poster of the movie. It was because they were big, right? They were the size of a record album, but they were solid plastic, and the disc inside that looked exactly like a record, but it was about twice the thickness. It was thicker and it was heavier, and it would be inside the machine, so it'd be completely protected because you didn't want to get dust or anything on it. Because it would skip like a record with a scratch on it. When it skips over and you hear that, the movie would do the same thing. It would blip or get stuck on a spot, and it would react the same way as like a record would. But these we had those first. I remember we had those until we moved to our other house. We sold that house, so we moved to a townhouse on Clark Road, and we then bought a VCR. But up until that point, we had to wait till stuff aired on TV. I remember going to the theater and seeing movies because I loved going to the cinema when I was little. That was such a big deal for me. And I still can't remember what the first movie I ever saw in the theater was, though. I don't remember. One of the earliest ones I remember was the Shaggy DA. There's a group of us that went to see Willy Wonka for a friend's birthday. We went to see this sci-fi adventure monster movie called At the Earth's Core that had Peter Cushing and Doug McClure. I remember going to see that. That was such a big deal for me to go see that. And I saw the 1976 King Kong in the cinema with Jessica Lange. But yeah, but 70s was such an interesting time because I kind of knew there was advancements in technology that were being made from the 60s moving forward. We were getting, electronic toys were starting to become a more common thing, and we knew kind of what was coming. Even the first computer, we had a little tiny computer that you could actually make a little steering video game type thing on. It was a big deal for me. I had a lot of fun with that thing. Couldn't entirely figure it out, but you knew things were kind of were changing. And so when we moved, I remember we actually got a VCR, and that was such a huge deal to me that you could actually record a TV show. Movies would come on in the middle of the night that we couldn't see because they were on way too late, but you could set the timer and record them and then watch them later. Because there was always like mystery movies and that they were on like really, really late that my mom wanted to see, but they were on at like 2 and 3 in the morning. So I'd set the timer and they would record it and then watch it, the next day or something, right? That to me just absolutely fascinated me, that whole technology. And then the introduction eventually of the first, it's not exactly like streaming television now because what was it called? Pay TV, like a movie. They would have new movies and they would still air at a certain time. So I remember this was around 84, and they had Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I wanted to see it again, and it would be on it. Say it would be listed in the listings for like 2 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and 11 o'clock. Say those were the times for that, and we tune in at like whatever time and try and watch it. But to me, all that technology completely just fascinated me at the time, and I knew we were building and moving to something. I knew streaming somehow was going to come. I sort of knew that was going to exist. It's a shame. I think they've kind of dropped the ball on that, the way they're handling it today. But streaming, I kind of knew. Eventually, I knew that one time, that eventually somehow we would be able to pick a movie and then just watch it and be able to have the controls to stop it and pause it and play it or rewind it or whatever without needing a machine. And I didn't know how and in what form, but I knew that was somehow coming. And but I had a friend of mine that actually used to build the scramblers because most of you probably know this. For some that don't, for that pay television to work, they were scrambled. The image was all screwy looking and unless you subscribed. If you subscribed to it, then you got a little box and you got to watch it normally. But if you didn't, you tried to tune into that channel, it would all be funny and screwy and the sound wouldn't be quite right. And I had a friend of mine down the street that actually could build them. And he built one that only kind of worked sometimes. Sometimes it would work for a little while and then it would go out again. So it never completely worked. I was kind of disappointed it didn't work with our set. He said it was something to do with our TV set, and I don't know why. I don't understand. But But anyways, let me check on an update here on our friend Enrique. If he's given any kind of update is when he's popping in. I don't know. I'm not seeing anything here yet. He should be here shortly. I might have to take just a short 2-minute break. I'm going to close this off. And I'm going to close the program. I might have to take a little bit of a short break. Again, I have to kind of look at the screen until I can get the Stream Deck to work with this, if it'll work. But I'll have to get that to work eventually. Watch them show up right when I have to take off for a minute. Is it under OBS sources? I think that was what I had, yes. So how is everyone else doing tonight? Does anyone else have any questions? Anyways, I'm going to take just a quick short break for a few minutes. And, actually, no, I can't because this is still not set right. I thought maybe I'd have the music come in. See, the problem is if I hit share, it'll show it right away, and I don't want it to. Oh no, I guess it's there. That's fine then. I hate all this. This is why I like all this. I shouldn't have cleared the music, and I actually closed it off. Now it's going to start playing. Please don't. Okay, good. Good Lord. This thing, there's got to be a way to do this. You need everything sort of preset ahead of time. And yeah, I keep clearing things back out. But anyways, I'm going to be back in a few minutes. And please talk amongst yourselves. And I will be back in just a moment. I am back. To unmute it. I think they would have done that automatically, but apparently not. So, all right, let's minimize that. So, how is everyone tonight? Who's in here still? We only have 2 people, but I don't know who. I don't know who was there. I know I had Frank in earlier, and I had Adam, and Paul Pate was here. I imagine probably a little late for Paul. Oops, I think I just heard an announcement. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen. Enrique,
Hey,
how you doing, sir?
alrighty, how you guys doing?
Good, good, thanks. I have to turn this up a little bit. I can't hear very well.
Chill.
There we go.
What's new? What were you talking about?
Not a whole lot tonight. I just sort of did a little update on my week. I did a little bit of a drawing demo just before you popped in for a little bit.
Nice.
But that was about it. Just kind of chit chat about my week. But how are you doing?
Pretty good. I've just been working on YouTube stuff and I just been Facebook is finally my demonetization was lifted yesterday.
Oh, I didn't know you were demonetized, or maybe you did mention that and I don't remember. But
Yeah.
What happened with that?
Nothing. It took them 4 months to check it that I was okay.
Oh, okay, all right.
I was flagged for something. I don't remember what. Well,
Really?
I remember what. It was dumb. I already made the changes like 2 weeks in, and they just never really got back to me. It took like 4 months, and to be honest, I kind of gave up hope.
Yeah.
So the fact that it was like yesterday, all of a sudden, I see it like, oh, it's you're back on this. I'm like, what? Now I can actually try to figure out how to make money on Facebook because some people make a lot of money on Facebook. So we'll see. How have you been on there? Are you posting stuff on there?
On Facebook? No,
Okay.
Not yet. I'm still kind of. I really want to try and start concentrating on YouTube, but yeah. So that's going to be kind of my main thing. If I don't know, I don't know how Facebook. Do you do it on your main account or do you do it on a separate drawing account though, right? You don't do it on your main.
Yeah, I do it on a separate drawing account. I have like my main normal, and then I have it's just a page, and I deleted every other page because they said I was duplicating content or something. So I didn't know from what. So I just deleted literally every other page I had. I mean, most of the other ones were dead anyway. But
okay, all right. So it's a page, or do you set up as a group? I guess it's a page.
It's a page.
Okay,
yeah. I think I have my own group that I never touched. I can't remember. I'd have to look that up.
Because the page is. Do you have it linked to an Instagram or?
No. I try to make it its own thing. I link it to my email, and it's kind of it, really. I link it to something else because my website's like worthless right now too. So it took me a long time to fix my website. I had a lot of errors on it. I hate WordPress. I'm so sick of WordPress.
Oh, I was thinking about a website again, but I thought until I'm actually really fully up and going, there's no point in me putting out the money for a website yet. I can do enough with social media right now, but until I actually am like selling merch and I have a better following on YouTube, there's no point for me on spending money on a website. So I'm probably not going to do that just yet. I don't think it really is going to do me any good. I've had it before and it just didn't do anything. It was kind of a waste of money in a way, but
I want to try going live almost every day, like for a little bit, instead of going live once for like many hours. I want to try going live like half an hour every day because I saw some build up. I saw some build up from that where it was the same people over and over. They just get used to seeing me every day. But I just stopped because I was like kind of exhausted from it. But I don't know. It could be something, right? Like maybe I can do that every day as much as I can, and like everything else, it pays off like a year from now or something.
Yeah. Because that's what I thought you were. Yeah, I was gonna say. I think that's what you were doing. Is I'd see you pop in live. I end up missing you half the time, but I do get this sort of notices when you come on. When you go on live.
Yeah. So some people. I went on today, but I'm gonna go on maybe tomorrow because I have a class for fun now, so. That means I'd have to get up a little bit earlier and do it. So I hope I can do it. I hope I can do that.
Okay.
I might be involved. I have to figure out. I might be involved in an anthology comic thing next year.
Nice.
Yeah, because one of my friends does it, and they put it on Kickstarter every year, It's called like accident. Their group is called Accidental Aliens, I guess. That's like a little
Okay.
dorky group name. And
Right.
so their Kickstarter they're doing I think for 4 or 5 years, and they only ask for like a pretty low budget. I don't remember what the budget was, but they always get it. So this year she asked me if I wanted to do it, and I think initially I was like, no, I don't want to do this. Like I don't know how to make a comic. That's like a totally different kind of thing. But I just kind of rethought it, and I was like, you know what? I do want to do it. I'm gonna ask her, and she said, yeah, it's still open, but I don't know. We're gonna talk about it tomorrow. I don't want to. I don't want to draw somebody else's story though. I'd like to try to do my own story
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
she wants to partner me with a writer possibly. She told me so, but I'm gonna talk to her about that tomorrow because I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that. If I'm drawing somebody else's stuff, it's gonna feel like work. So fuck it.
Yeah.
But
I was gonna say, I thought that's kind of the point of an anthology is it's your stuff. It's everybody does their own thing as part of one.
Well, some people in it will like some of the artists just really don't want to write anything. They just want to like design. They just want to design the character and the world or whatever they're doing, and they just want the story to be. Because I noticed that in the book, like there's like 5 stories or something, and there's like 3. All of it's done by one person, and then there's 2 where it's like a writer and a. Yeah, I'll talk to her about it tomorrow. Not tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, I think that the next day I'm supposed to meet up with her. She's a really close friend of mine. Yeah. She's an artist, and she also works for the news. So she's like a camera person. Yeah.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Right. Well, it's good. You can keep them busy then. That's good.
Yeah, trying to schedule better. Honestly, trying to get out more in general.
Yeah.
I haven't really gotten out this much in a long time. Just I'm taking every invite somebody tells me to go. I just.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's
Well, with every friend I have, really, not like stranger invites, but like you know what I mean, like just random, like my friend today's like, oh, there's free tacos at blah 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 blah, like this location. I'm like, all right, I'll go. Like, and it was great. They had free art supplies there.
Well, come hang out in Toronto.
Yeah, no, I do want to go. I have a lot. Yeah, so that'll be maybe next year. Yeah, because like this year, as far as trips go, because I think I talked about it before. My sister is getting married this year, so
right. Yeah.
So that's in October. I got and then my other friend, a very close friend, she's gonna get married 2 weeks later.
Mm-hmm.
So I have, let me see, my sister's shower, which just passed, my sister's wedding. Then my other friends, I think before that, the shower is in 2 weeks. Then my other friends, so one of my close friends, she's doing a bachelorette, and I'm involved because like I am it's just a bar crawl. They're not gonna do anything like wild or anything. It's just gonna be a bar crawl. Yeah. So she wants me to go, and I was like, all right, I'll go. It's just a bar crawl. Who cares? But it's in Palm Springs. It's kind of off there. Then let me see. Vince is gonna visit here for a week. Maybe we can do. Wow. Man, that'd be badass. Maybe we can stream at the same. Because he could not do it today, but I asked him. Yeah. He's gonna be flooded because he's gonna take a week to visit me.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, but that'd be cool. Maybe during that week we could just stream together. Honestly, I'm not even joking about that. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, if one night I can have you guys in the same place, then if he's next, is he next week or when is that?
No. This is in mid-October. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
A month and a half from now, and then I'm gonna go to Cancun with him. I think early December, because his company is going to send their whole company to Cancun, and they can pick one person to bring along. And he picked me.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And they picked, and they paid for my flight, like the whole flight. I had to buy it, then they reimbursed me. It was like $1,000 flight. They reimbursed the whole thing, and then they're going to pay for my hotel and my food apparently. So I can't say no because I kind of hate Mexico. But
no. Okay.
I don't like it. It's dangerous. I was kind of born to hate Mexico. My mom grew up in Mexico, so she's like, don't go there. The police can do whatever they want to you.
Geez.
They totally can. But I mean, it's a pretty Americanized area. It's a pretty, what do you call it? It's a tourist area. So it'll be fine.
I was going to say it's a touristy area because a cousin of mine, she goes every year to, I forget where it is. She goes somewhere, but it's one of the big touristy spots. But she loves it. She loves going down there. And
yeah, I have a friend that goes all over the place, and he never gets in trouble. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't like that iffy. It's rare, but like, I don't know. I just laugh when they say the cops are corrupt here. It's a bazillion times worse
Where's down
over
there?
there. Yeah, Anyways, I won't get on that rant. But generally, I just don't like it because of that rare, but something could happen kind of thing. What else? But yeah, I got a lot of stuff planned. Oh, and then I'm gonna go visit my friend in Miami in January, I think. So there's a lot of. But
lots of traveling.
yeah. But no, definitely. I want to get up to your area badly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk to Vince about that. Probably I'm thinking summer next year or something. Like this.
Summer would be a nicer time to go for sure.
Yeah. So maybe it'll give me time to recoup money going on because my money's like kind of up and down right now.
No, I'm sure. With all these trips.
Yeah, I know. I have to like save really hard. Also, I had to help my sister with money for the wedding and shit like that. So it's just like I am like, even though I'm taking all these invites to go out places, I'm like barely putting gas. You know what I mean? I'm like, I should probably put gas right now, but I'm gonna wait 3 days. You know, like I'm being very, very frugal with money as far as that goes. You know, like even the tacos today, everything was free. So there's a free taco truck. So.
Oh, nice.
Jeez. What else?
I'm gonna be going to Montreal next month myself. We're
that?
In about 3 weeks. Going to just to visit. This is just going to be. Normally, I go with another friend of mine, and we go up for like about 4 days and take a bunch of pictures and see a bunch of things. But this time, it's I'm just going by myself, and I'm visiting another friend of mine who lives there, and I haven't seen him in almost 10 years.
Oh my god.
So I'm definitely I'm going to be just taking the train up. It's about a 6-hour train ride to go up to Montreal, and it's just going to be about 2 or 3 days just to visit him and kind of I haven't seen him in ages, but he's a good friend of mine I've known for like almost 20 years. So
how often do you see him then? Every like 2 years, every 3 years, every 4 years, or?
Well, yeah, before that, I would see him each year, every 2 years or so up until. But what happened was he moved his job. He moved to New York, and then I was going to go visit him in New York. I thought that'd be great, but I had to renew my passport. In order to renew my passport, I needed my my birth certificate, and I had some issues with finding my birth certificate. I have huge issues with my birth certificate.
What's wrong with it?
And I thought it was permanently gone. I had to get another one because I was born in Quebec. And there's a weird thing here. I have no idea what started this, but if you were born in Quebec before 1994, you have to update your birth certificate. You have to get a new birth certificate. My original one that I was issued at birth doesn't mean anything to them anymore. So I had to actually order a new one, but it's from the hospital I was born at was torn down and rebuilt somewhere else. And to get out, and it's outside of Montreal. You try and contact somebody, you need someone who knows French, and I needed somebody to translate. Already gone through that process in 2009, and I thought I had it. I had the new one, and then I thought I had lost it. For the longest time, I thought I had lost it in the move. Well, it wasn't until, and I told him, I says, as soon as I can sort this out, I'll try and make it. But it took me forever, and then it was just, eventually, it turned up. I found it. And so I says, okay, I'm going to try and plan a trip to New York. And he says, oh, actually, I'm being relocated again. They're sending me to London, England.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, oh, for God's sakes. So that's an expensive trip, especially from Canada. That's hugely expensive. So he was there for about 2, and then COVID hit. So nobody was doing anything. And then finally, I was kind of like, okay, I'm sorting this out. And he says, well, hold on a bit longer. He says, I'm done here now. I'm coming back to Montreal. So yeah, no, we've been playing, and every time I try and set a date, something keeps coming up. But finally, so we got
Montreal. That's where he's at now.
What's that?
He's in Montreal now, then, right?
He is, yeah. He's back in Montreal. He's been there for like almost a year, but it's just been trying to coordinate a date between my job and his job to get a date where we can say, all right, let's go and hang out for a few days. And
it's getting hard. It's getting really hard. I feel like all of my friends are 10 years younger than me. They're all like turning 30 now. And I'm like gonna turn 40 next year. So, but like they're all turning 30, and now like they're just hard to schedule people. Like when everybody was 25 and I was 35, they were like, "Let's just go out right now." Okay, let's go do it. You know.
Yeah.
But now it's so hard.
Yeah.
Now it's like, okay, we'll meet up in 3 weeks. Like what? It's like you live right there. Like,
Yeah.
But
I also was supposed to try and go. I have some family and other friends in the UK, and I was thinking of maybe trying to go in November if things work out. But it depends on, again, scheduling, if they can put me up and whatnot. But so maybe in November I might be going to the UK. If not, then maybe early in the new year I might try and go, because I've wanted to go for so long.
Is that that's what's stopping you then, like the stay, or what? Like how much it is to?
It's money. It's mainly money, and because it costs. Yeah, I mean it's expensive. The flight is expensive. Hotels are expensive. The exchange rate is really terrible. So
I forgot about that part.
Money.
I went 12 years ago. I was like, oh yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's a lot worse now, but
yeah, I have wanted to go so badly, and every time I tried to build up something to go, every time I got close to like, okay, I'm putting this together, something would happen and it would just, everything would kind of fall apart. So
try looking at if you can't find a place to stay. I know they're probably gonna let you stay, but I think me and Vince mentioned it here a long time ago. Like we stay at hostels a lot because it tends to be a cheaper alternative. Not always.
Night in Montreal, actually.
They have them in Montreal.
Yeah, I'm doing that the first night in Montreal. First night I'll do a hostel, and the second night I'm going to do a little nicer hotel. But
we love those. I mean, like just because. I mean, I'm sure they're way cheaper in Europe. I mean, I guess they're not part of the EU. I don't know how expensive London is. Probably London's probably. You said London, right?
Well, actually, not far from it. Actually, where I'm going was going to be in Dover, which is way over on the other side, and then maybe coming across, I might see London for a day, but I'm not going to be staying there because it's really expensive.
Yeah, I'm just curious how expensive that whole country is. I've only been to London. I know that was super expensive, but other parts of Europe they'll have like $15 a night, really cheap stuff like that. But that's like through different parts of Europe, so I don't really know. All the hostels here in the US are like expensive. I think they caught on to the fact that people kind of like them.
Okay.
So, because you can go and they'll have group activities. So, like if you're traveling alone for a business trip and you're like, I'm not gonna be able to meet anybody, like, and so they have these like, oh, let's do a bar crawl, and you have people of like different ages all over the place, and you just kind of go out and you have friends for the night, and depends what hostel though. Of course, some hostels focused on that. They're focused on gathering people, and then some it's just a cheap hotel, Sure. I told you I worked at one, remember? Or I volunteered at one.
Oh, I think you mentioned that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, here in San Diego in downtown. It was kind of in the middle. It was a very mellow one. Was not considered a party hostel, but we did have a lot of group stuff. And I hosted the pub crawls. I would show them around like to 4 different bars, and it was scary, kind of, because you'd have like 35 people behind you, and I was like, ooh, I'm not used to being like a tour guide. Because if I get directions wrong, people are getting pissed off, and I don't know.
The ones in Montreal, like the one I was going to try and get was the cheapest one. It was $50 a night, and I still haven't booked it yet. I'm hoping I still can, but but some of them were almost as much as a hotel room. So I've been debating whether or not to bother going with it or just get a hotel room. Like one of them was like $170 a night. I'm like, what? You
could search. You could search because I know some were. Did you get a private room in the hostel?
So the last time I went, which was 10 years ago, I didn't formally get one. I booked a room that had like 6 other beds, but it just happened that nobody else was there, so I ended up being by myself.
Oh, nice.
The one I'm looking at that I want to book is a private one by myself, but it was $50.
Yeah, I was gonna say private is because it might as well be a hotel.
Yeah,
it's private. I thought the part of the what do you call it, the thing you give up in a hostel is that there's gonna be other people in the room and bunk beds and shit. That's what usually. Yeah, because I know I went to one. Me and Vince went to one in Texas where it was like insane. It was like 20 people in the room at least. It was like crazy, and everybody woke up like it's the army. Like the lights just go on at 10 a.m. regardless of whether you want to sleep or not.
Oh, really? Jeez.
Yeah, that really pissed me off. I mean, I could lay there, but it'd be really bright.
I guess they're trying to boot everybody out, or is it just because other people were getting up, kind of thing?
I think it's because everybody's getting up and everybody's all over the place, and like I could lie there, but it was really loud and sunny, and everybody's opening curtains, and it's like, okay, why am I can't sleep.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that, like I think the rule is the more, sacrifices like that you make, the cheaper on average it'll be, but if you get a private room, it might as well be a hotel.
Yeah, at that point. But But the thing is, it was like the one I was looking at, I think is a private room. I'm not 100%. I got to see if it's still available or not. But it was, with taxes and everything, I think it came to like a little over $60. So I was going to try and get that one.
Yeah,
But
sometimes you know, like you research, right? I'm like very, very, very anal about researching every little thing. I'm like, how close is this? Is it worth it in that way? Maybe it's really close to like a really cool spot, and we could just open the door and we're right there. Because that was when I went to one in Seattle. It was more expensive, but I noticed it's right in the center of this very, very cool area, and I could have had a free hostel because I worked at the hostel at the other one, and it was the same company. I could have had a free one, but it would have been quite a bit away. And I just chose a more expensive one, and I'm glad I did that because the location was like so. You just open the door, you're like, wow, you're in the middle of this cool area of Seattle. So I don't know. You just like weigh the options, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I envy you though. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to do that stuff. I never. Montreal is a party town, or what's the party town of Canada?
Oh, it can be Montreal. I mean, it's going to be a pretty mellow trip though. I'm just visiting a couple of friends. We're going to have dinner, hang out, chat,
Sightsee, stuff like that, right?
What's that?
Like sightsee and stuff, or
probably a little bit. Yeah. I mean, I've seen most of the stuff. I've been to Montreal about 7 or 8 times now, so I've kind of seen most of it. And I have lots of pictures, but I haven't seen my friend Ian in ages. So this is more just kind of to visit and just get away for a weekend as well, just because I've been so cooped up here and I need to get away for a bit. So I need some little vacation of some kind. So
when I go anywhere, I've talked about this before. When I go somewhere, I like to do 2 things. One, I mean the obvious. One, I wanna see the nightlife really bad, and then also I want to see the sightseeing stuff really bad too. Yeah. So like I remember with Vincent, we were in, I don't remember where, because I'm mostly traveled with him, but like whenever I go somewhere, he'll be like, we could just stay here and watch TV. I'm like, dude, I want to see this historical monument.
Yeah, I'm like, the hotel is just to put my stuff down and sleep at night. I want to go out and, especially in the UK. Whoa.
Yeah, no, because sometimes we'll just go to the bar, and I'm like, dude, like I could have gone to the bar. I mean, it's a cool bar, don't get me wrong, but I'm like, I could have done that over here. Like, I want to go see the site that I've known the city for, whatever, etc. It is. Like I had to really twist his arm to go see Stonehenge when we were over there, and
I still want to see that so bad. That's one of the things I definitely want to try and see is Stonehenge. Yeah, that
was awesome. Cause I mean, I've sine that like in cartoons and parodies and everything my whole life, and I'm like, I have to see it. We're so close to this thing, and I had to like twist his arm for that. But I mean, he did it. He's down to do stuff. Don't get me wrong. But you'll be near it too, right? Like, because Salisbury, it's in the town of Salisbury. I don't know how far it is from where you're going to be.
Oh, Dover is way over on the East Coast, where I think Stonehenge, because I looked it up, it is going to be a bit of a trip because it's way down south of London.
A couple hours?
Or down and around. It's past London, like southwest, I think.
Like a couple hour drive or more?
Probably. Yeah, and I'm taking public transit, so it'll probably be I think it's like a good almost 4 hours on the public transit. So
if it's worth it to you, then do it. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I'd like to.
Yeah, it was great. It was beautiful. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was like smaller than I thought. That was the one thing. I was like, these stones are smaller than I.
Oh, is that right? Oh,
yeah, and I know you used to be able to walk through underneath them. I thought, no, I'd have to look that up because they definitely don't let you walk around them very much. There's this like tape around it.
Yeah, I've heard they're protected now. So
yeah, I'm wondering if. But it was still great to see it. I thought that about Mount Rushmore too, though. I thought Mount Rushmore was smaller than I thought too. I guess the things just look larger than life when they're animated and/or on TV.
Yeah, it makes them look gigantic. Yeah.
Yeah, because with Mount Rushmore, I mean, you're kind of near that area. Have you been in to see that at all? It's kind of near.
Rushmore, I haven't. No, I've never seen Rushmore. I've actually been through Washington. I've seen like the Washington Monument, and I've seen, that kind of thing. I've seen, but was it the Statue of Lincoln where he's sitting there in the?
Yeah. I haven't seen it. Yeah, see, I haven't been in Washington yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's a good place. It's a good place to go. I just went to South Dakota to visit my friend in the Air Force, and he said, "Oh, this is nearby. We should go check it out." I'm like, "Yeah." And I didn't know they were going to build. The plan was to build their whole bodies, not just their heads only.
Yeah.
That's why it's so small on the mountain. And I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's why it's so on the corner there." I'm like, "That's not." Not very
I've
big.
read that because who's the one in front is actually
don't
partially
remember.
done. Part of the suit is actually done, and they were going to actually do that. But
yeah, I don't remember who we were talking about, but I don't remember all the faces. I know it's Washington, Lincoln, and Andrew Jackson,
I forget.
or Theodore Roosevelt.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't remember.
I can't remember who the four were, but
Yeah,
I know they were supposed to actually do more. It was supposed to be all right down to the ground. It was going to be their suits and jackets and everything, but something happened. They couldn't do it. I don't forget the reason why they couldn't do it that way, but
but that's why it looked so small on the mountain when I was there in person. I was like, oh yeah, that's smaller. I thought it was going to be the entire mountain was going to be a gigantic 4 heads, but it was not. Still cool. Yeah. Still really neat though.
Oh sure.
I watched Richie Rich. I don't know if you remember that movie.
No, I never saw the Richie Rich movie.
Okay, he had a Mount Rushmore replica in his. I don't remember if it was the heads out though.
I lost you there for a moment.
Oh, you lost me. Am I back? Am I back? Yes.
You're breaking up.
1, 2, 3. Let me turn off my.
In the meantime, here, Frank, when you came in, whoops, we lost him. We're going to back in a minute. You didn't miss a whole lot. I just did some chatting, and then I had to take a break and run to the washroom. So you didn't miss much. But I get rid of this one. But yeah, you have to go back and watch the rerun. I was just yakking for a little bit, so I don't even know if you're still there. And let's get Enrique back here. There you go.
There you go. Okay. Am I breaking up or
now you're better? I think at the moment, anyways. It's a little bit jittery, but you're coming through okay.
Oh damn! An acorn. It's a pine cone. Sorry, I posted a YouTube video. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Your image kind of skips a bit, but I can hear you.
I was trying to turn off any electronics here. Sometimes my Wi-Fi in my room gets weird. You can still hear me okay though? Hello?
I can hear you fine, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, it's just my picture. Yeah, it's good because I don't think I'm gonna be able to change it at that point. Because I tried putting the data and it got worse. Like you just disappeared. And I was like, okay.
Really? Jeez.
So maybe I'm out of data. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
All right. Yeah, I put a what's it called? An Instagram reel right before I came on, and I think I said the wrong word. I said acorn instead of pine cone, and then somebody commented on that right now. I saw pop up acorn.
Oh, I'll have a look later.
Yeah, give me a notification. Yeah, that's going good too. I gotta like keep adding to that because I want to get to 100K. You know.
Oh, geez, I'm trying to see if I can get to 4,000.
Well, that one video you had exploded. I mean, I was kind of wondering. You just got to keep leaning into that format.
I know. I've been meaning to post more stuff lately. It's just I was sick for part of the week, and work's been sporadic, and it was just ended up being a really messy week this week. I was so mad because I was going to post.
When something works, you just keep leaning into it. I've learned that a long time ago. But also the things you did in it too. I think you created intrigue, and the way you even like. I'm not even sure. I'm assuming that's unintentional, but like the way you formatted what you said also made somebody want to see it as well.
I was trying to edit it down to keep it under 1 minute, like it's 59 seconds, and I wanted to do it because originally it was I made it for a YouTube short, which has to be under a minute, and the YouTube short has like 15 views. Go figure.
Oh yeah, no. Same thing with me. Yeah, the exact same. The my video that did pretty well. Yeah, like on TikTok gets whatever, and then I think on YouTube Shorts as well it gets whatever. I'm like, why even post them here? I should. I should. I haven't reposted on YouTube. My YouTube's struggling. It's like zigzagging like crazy right now, and I'm like, I'm experimenting so hard though on it. I'm experimenting so hard. I'm trying to create.
Oh, you mean YouTube itself, or your YouTube channel?
My YouTube channel. I'm trying to change the editing up, and I thought the editing worked the first week. Like I saw people stay on it longer. I can't even tell what works anymore. Like sometimes I'll just completely delete the music, and I'll just put some like I've been experimenting with cutting the intro, so we just get into the drawing, and then I make it shorter. And I'm like, that works sometimes, and then sometimes it doesn't work. And I'm like, because sometimes if they watch a larger percentage of your video, that matters a lot. Does that make sense? So if I make like a 5-minute video, people watch like all 5 minutes of it. That's going to be a huge deal. If you know, if I compared to if I make a 20-minute video and they watch 10 minutes of it, apparently I heard that's worse because they're watching only half the video.
Half your video, even though it's more time.
Yeah.
You're losing your retention. Apparently, is what the problem is. You're losing people
So,
at a certain point. So
right. So I'm experimenting with that stuff. Like I'm adding intro here. So I think I'm just gonna stick to one thing and just try to do that. What's up?
Audiences, I think, have been a bit spoiled because of TikTok. Their attention spans dropped. It's these little 1 to 3 minute videos, if that. Even you can even upload 10-minute videos onto TikTok, but nobody sits through them. They all want these little instant things that are funny or a point made or something political or whatever, and they want the little quick stuff, and that's all they tune in for. So now they've been spoiled with that. And now people used to sit through long form content on YouTube for the longest time. I do find people like lives. I do know a few artists that have like lives that go an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and you'll see people come in and sit through the whole thing and comment all 3 hours. But it doesn't count for watch time on your lives. If somebody comes in and watches your live, that isn't counting towards your watch time. It's not until if somebody watches it on a replay, that counts as your watch time. But while it's live, if somebody's watching this live right now, it doesn't count. It doesn't count.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, yeah. I didn't know that part. Interesting.
So stupid, I don't know why. I think it's terrible. But
I'm gonna guess it's because you're allowed to give super chats here, and you're not allowed to do that on yeah, because I know some people have like a lot of money through super chats, right? Like do a donation. I don't even know how to induce that on an art channel. I mean, it's hard to ask, hey guys, you know, come on, like, you know, I mean, I guess I don't know. I guess it's just delving into it, right?
And I've seen some people actually kind of do that, and they just almost shamelessly just like, hey, if you're enjoying the show, I was sending a super chat. Send a little bit, $1, just fine. And they'll read them, and they'll give that person a bit of attention for a bit, right? They'll read their super chat and talk to them and fully respond to the question and everything. And so,
yeah, if it works, that's the thing. If it works, then that's fine. I don't know. I'm gonna have to delve into that soon. But like,
the only thing that drives me nuts is like they take over 30%, 30 or 35%.
Oh, really? Wow.
Of it. Yeah. So whatever, if you donate like $10 for a super chat, you'll get $7 of that. Minus anything else, but they'll take $3. Whereas I know if you have Streamlabs, they have their own tip thing, and if you're streaming through Streamlabs, you tell people to go through that tip, you get the whole thing. Streamlabs doesn't take anything, or if they do, it's a very tiny amount.
So does this right now Streamlabs take anything, or they have their own tip?
Streamlabs has it right now. I'm not going. This is just Talk Studio. I don't have. Okay. You have to enable that feature, and you have to have the Streamlabs broadcasting their Streamlabs OBS. I think you need to go through, and which I'm having issues with. But anyways, you have to enable it, and which I think you can. I don't think you have to have any kind of thing special on it. You just have to sign into Streamlabs, and then you kind of enable it, and then you can put it up somewhere as a link, I guess, in your chat or maybe on your screen. I'm not sure, but people can just go there and they can donate through PayPal or whoever else they want. And
I think a large part of this too would be like pitching stuff during. Wouldn't a large part of this be pitching stuff while you're doing this? So like I've seen other channels and they'll just go off on a rant about their program or something, you know, like, oh yeah, we're gonna do that, you know, like it's usually a pre-sell to something else. Right? They don't really depend on the money from super chats. I mean, some do, but do you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm breaking it.
Yeah, if you have like a big channel and you have like a 2-hour show going and you have lots of people interacting, I've seen people like make a lot of money on super chats. There was a guy, Dusty Smith, I think his name is, the Dusty Smith show.
I watch him. Yeah, he was.
God, he must make a mint off super chats. Like they just for like 2.5 hours, he does a stream. It's just Oh, he does. And there's a movie reviewer who maybe about twice a month he does. John Flickster, I think his name is the
Oh, I
Flickster,
don't know who that is.
and he just
I
comes
never
out
heard
and
of it.
talks about movies and talks about his DVD collection, and he used to do regular movie reviews and doesn't kind of do them so much anymore. But he comes on and does the lives, and people come in and chat with him, and he must make hundreds of dollars a night on just out of super chats. Because
Oh,
that's
wow.
what he'll read. In fact, there's so many that he gets that he doesn't have time to read the regular chat. He can only read the super chats because he gives very long, full answers. But people just want to ask his opinion about movies, and all he does. But he's really funny, actually. I've watched him for a long time.
I haven't seen
After.
too many art ones do it though, right? I know some do. Like you mentioned one. You linked me to one. I'm sure they get super chats. The he does only lives. I think. I forgot. You sent me his channel. I'd have to look it up. I guess I don't see. Whenever I see examples of stuff, it's almost always either political channel or something like that. I don't see like art channels.
Chris Sava art, I think, when he does it, but he doesn't do it. Chris Sava, of course, we talked to it. Was it Chris Sava?
That's true.
Yeah.
Savo, yeah. I think you said he goes live every morning, right? Like
he used to. I don't know if he still does.
Okay, but I would imagine he built up. If you go live at the exact same time every day for like a year, most days, it's gonna make something's gonna happen. I feel. I don't know if I'm wrong about that. You know.
Oh, this now funny. The one fellow I watch, Chris Runciman, goes live every day for an hour and a half from 2 to 3:30 here, but he only has about just under 200 subscribers. He gets about 5 or 6 people in his chat, and I don't think. Oh no, he can't do super chats. He doesn't have enough yet. You need more.
Okay.
You have to be over 500 to have super chats enabled.
What does he do? Like art?
Yeah, he does. He does what he calls these one-page comics, and so he'll have somebody throw out an idea, a little funny little statement, and he'll make a comic. But his stuff is very detailed. In fact, he only gets a little bit of it done, and then he'll do after his live is over, he'll spend more time working on it. And he'll post it the next day. But it's stuff's very detailed, very, very.
Wow.
Yeah.
We'll turn the fan on real quick.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like all humid lately over here.
Oh, is it? No, we just actually.
Yeah, I mean, humid for our area. We had a tropical storm hit us lately, which has never happened. I think since the 30s. I think we haven't had one. Wasn't that bad though. By the time Eddie here is pretty soft, but but that type of storm hasn't really touched ground here since like the 30s or something. So shit's changing.
Yeah, no, we had a lot of humidity, and now it's starting to cool off this week. Like this evening, now it's getting really chilly in here, actually. So,
Phil, you smoke weed, or was he Phil doing big bong rips?
I haven't done that kind of thing in like a long time. Who is Sketchy Times?
I'm not sure. Yeah,
have we talked before? I can't remember if I've chatted with Sketchy Times, but I haven't done that in long. I used to, but not in a long time.
I think I've tried it like twice in my entire life, and it's been probably 7 years. I tried it. I just didn't take it well. Yeah, Vince loves it. Vince is all about it.
I actually do enjoy it. I actually really do. I just and it's legal.
Wow.
But it's hard on the lungs. It's hard on the throat, and I kind of want to try and maintain my health now that I'm getting older.
That's weird. I'm thinking about that right now.
What's that?
I'm thinking literally the exact same thing now. Price sells 35. I'm thinking of my health. I don't even drink anymore. I think I said that to you, right? I haven't drank a drop of alcohol since January. No, not even January. Since December last year. And I think I drank 3 times a year for the last 5 years before that. Maybe 3 times. Yeah, now I'm down to 0. I might drink in Cancun because like they're gonna pay for everything, so I might do that there.
Might have a bit, yeah. Well, when I've gone on some trips, I don't know. Like when we went to Montreal about 2-3 years ago. No, it was been 2 years ago. It was right after when COVID and we could kind of freely travel again. Like I had a something called a black and tan, which is
I never heard of that.
It's a mix of Guinness and a cider. And technically, if you want to do it right, to make it look right, you put in your cider first, and if you use a spoon and you pour the Guinness in properly and slowly, it'll sit completely on top. And so
Oh,
you'll have
wow.
your cider on the bottom and the Guinness on top. And as you're drinking it, it'll slowly start kind of mixing. But
Sounds good. It
yeah,
sounds
yeah,
really
I
good.
used to like making them just because it was fun to make.
Mhm.
I'll send you a picture. I took pictures of them actually. It's actually
Yeah,
pretty
definitely send
cool.
me that. Yeah,
Yeah,
why not?
yeah.
Definitely send me that. I'm like trying to cut 10 pounds. I'm like
Oh, are you?
170. I'm like 178, and I want
Oh,
to be
okay.
170 again. I
Mhm.
want to be 170. So like 8 pounds would be nice. Just yeah,
Couldn't
a little bit.
imagine being that weight. I'm like
I mean,
215 and
well, I
I
mean,
can't drop it.
it's yeah, it's comparative. I think Vince
Uh,
is. I mean, Vince is way overweight, but like his
yeah.
normal weight should be like 230. That would be his normal weight, right? I don't
Mm.
know what. How tall are you?
Oh,
What are you?
really?
Yeah, how tall are you?
I'm 6'2".
You're 6'2". Wait, what would your normal weight be then? What is your BM like?
I'd like to. Ideally, it should be 200, 195 to 200 in that range for my frame
Oh,
and height. Yeah,
yeah,
and I've
I
been
think.
down to 190 before. I'd like to be down. I'd like to be underweight again.
Yeah, no, yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good. Yeah, I don't know. I wanna try to get down to what my driver's license says. It always goes to my face, like around here.
Mm,
Like there's just a slight change, but it's better. I know even for
yeah.
just the 10 pounds, slight change, but it's better. It's always for the better. Um, but I don't know. I might be overreacting. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, getting rid of alcohol and stuff like that. Yeah, I think I don't even care about sweets. By the way, my main thing is like,
Mm.
what do you call it? My main thing is carbs, pizza. That's where it kind of goes south.
Yep, same thing with me. I eat too much bread during the day. It's like I have a
Yeah,
bagel at breakfast, a sandwich at lunch, and then I have pasta at dinner or something like that, right? It's like
yeah,
bread, and bread.
yeah. That's the
So,
same thing for me. Like
yeah.
it's not. That's my main thing. I barely eat sweet stuff, to be honest. I
Mhm.
mean, at least overtly sweet stuff.
Yeah.
But
I
what
do
are you
the
doing
same
art?
thing.
What are your plans art wise? I mean, are you gonna do some more reels or shorts?
Yeah. I've written down a bunch of things that I'd like to try and shoot, and I was trying to get a couple of them done. It's just been such an obnoxious week, but yeah, I've got some ideas written out. I've done some sketches for it already. I just need to kind of shoot it and arrange it. So,
How's
but
your
I
job?
mean,
Like,
I'm gone all
how's
day tomorrow, and
how's your job? How's that going?
it's okay. Like it's as I said, it's it's going to be frustrating next month because I took off a bit of time to go to Montreal. There's somebody else on staff who is also taking a little bit of time off next month, so she's put me in his place. So now I'm going to be working extra shifts next month, so I'm going to be busier, unfortunately. So I'm going to try and juggle it as best I can, but it's very frustrating when you have to leave for work in like the middle of the day and you can't get
Yeah.
into a rhythm. It's hard to get up. And then when you close so late and I'm up late, it's hard to get into a rhythm like that. It's very frustrating. I'm really thinking I'm trying to look into possibly just finishing this job at the end of the year. I know she's not going to be thrilled about that, my boss, but because she seems to like me, but
Mhm.
I do have a good boss, but I'm thinking that it's become, I don't know. I would really love to actually sit down and pour my time into this. I want to start a Patreon. Like I'd really love to get a
Oh
Patreon going,
yeah. What
and
would you do on Patreon? Like mine bombed.
but I don't have enough people. I only
Mine did not do. I couldn't keep up with mine. Mine.
well,
I could tell you about mine. Like, I think initially I was like, for $20, I'll correct. I'll go over like make a quick video correcting someone's drawing. Because I was aiming it right at beginners. And it did okay. I made like I think the most I ever made was $200 in a month, which is something. I'm not gonna.
that's really
But it
good.
was like a
Actually.
lot.
Jeez, I could do a lot with
Yeah,
that.
but it was a lot of effort. It was so much effort. Like it wasn't really worth the effort. That's the thing.
Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't really worth the effort. It was too much, and it was just stressing me out. And I'm like, man, I have to do all these damn. Maybe I'll try it again. Maybe now I'm better because I noticed that was years ago. That was like 4 or 5 years ago. I just noticed now I am quicker at everything. I've noticed. I don't know because I think I started. You know how it is, right? Like as your drawing progression goes, some of the same things are quicker. I don't know. I just noticed I'm a lot quicker than I used to be. For certain things, like so for auto correction on drawing, I think I could probably do that
Yeah.
Maybe, you know,
Can
maybe,
you
or just
do
raise the
live
price.
on Patreon?
There's a live on Patreon.
Oh, can you do it? I was asking, can you go live on a Patreon? Like, can you do a
I
live
haven't been on
stream?
there. I don't know. I haven't been on there
Mm,
forever. So,
yeah.
dude,
Okay.
now that we're talking about it, maybe I will try the correcting drawing stuff. That might be some because I belong to a couple who correct my paintings and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I belong to one or two. I think one guy. Well, one I just want to see his art. It was Dave Raposa. I just want to see his
Hmm.
long form painting, and then there's another guy. I forgot his name, and I'm on his also. Huh?
One person I used to follow was Boro Dante, and
Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah,
pretty
well, I was
good.
gonna
It's
say,
incredible.
well, you and me talked about him. He
Mm.
used to correct mine too. In my opinion, he experiments with everything, and I like the way he explains stuff. But I think there's a limit to his knowledge because it's like he's not. I don't know what he's like now. I
Mm.
just didn't think he was like a pro artist, like in the stuff I was looking at. Because like if you look at Dave Raposa or you look at God, who's the other guy? He's just not as good as some of these guys I was following. You know what I mean? And
Really?
like, yeah, he just wasn't like up there. I think he's good, but like I noticed when he would look at certain things I showed him, he didn't know what the hell to say, and I was like, damn, like I just feel like I don't know. I just
Mm.
feel like he was. Maybe it's different now. That was 2 years ago, so I'm sure he's a lot better now.
Oh wow!
What do
I
you
was always really impressed with his stuff. He had this nice sense of depth in his images.
He did,
And
yeah.
I was
I
always
thought,
really impressed with his light and shadow, and yeah.
yeah. I think it was
But
pretty good. I don't know. I just didn't. I could tell there was certain things he didn't do. I don't know
mm.
how to explain it, to be honest.
there's
Yeah. Hmm?
there's some people that I find that they're they're so good that their work is almost just instinctive. And so when you try to pick up lessons, they can kind of talk about it, but they can't kind of deliver what they're doing. I find that actually with what's his name, Proco.
Yeah.
Proco's really amazing. Like he really
Mhm.
is. But
Mhm.
the lessons, when he does lessons, they fall a little bit hollow. And
Yeah.
I feel like it's because he's so far, there's stuff so much just coming to him naturally. That yeah, he can break down things and talk about things. I'm finding he's a little all over the place, and
Yeah.
he's going into a lot of detail things when he shouldn't be going to that much detail yet. And
Yeah.
but I think it's just so, there's so much.
Mhm.
He's so good that he
Mhm.
can't kind of bring it down to,
Yeah.
does that make sense? Like, I don't know
Yeah,
if
I agree. I thought I kind of thought Jim Lee was like that. Jim Lee
who?
has some lessons.
Jim
I
Lee?
saw him. Jim Lee, you know that is.
That sounds really familiar. I feel like I
Yeah,
do.
he's
And
like very, 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 very famous comic book artist from the '90s, and he
oh,
still
okay.
works and stuff. He was
Oh, all
working
right.
with Tom.
Okay.
Yeah, like he did a lot of Batman, Superman. But I
Mm.
think I saw his demo at Comic Con, and I'm like, oh, I mean, so the lesson is you're good.
Yeah.
So that's the lesson.
It's like there used to be this joke that was like how to draw an owl, and it would say start with the
Oh,
basic shapes, then
that's a great
finish the owl, and the second drawing is like completely done. And there's like,
yeah.
hey,
You know,
help.
there's another guy too, a guy named Fang Zhu, insane artist. Fang Zhu, he came out of Art Center, and he has his own school. But I don't know. Like some of his lessons are also too fast. You know, where I'm like, bro, you lost me already. Like I don't know, step 2, 3, 4, 5. Like you're already over here. Because I heard he didn't produce that many good people, even though he's a great artist. But that guy's like a machine. I gotta look for his channel again because he was doing these giant like 3-hour lessons on YouTube for a while, and
Oh,
that felt like it was through osmosis. You're just like, oh man, a human can do that. Like that's kind of what I was getting from it. Kind of like when I even Kim Jung-gi, you know, R.I.P. Even when I saw his lessons, a lot of it was, I mean, he was mostly just talking about the perspective, and most of it felt like, okay, just memorize, like draw this thing till you don't have to look at the reference.
yeah, that's. I don't think I've never reached that point. I need reference. I've always had.
I think everybody I know uses reference. I don't know of a single person that was like him. The only guy I know that's close to him is do you know who Peter Hahn is? He's another guy out of LA, and he's clearly trying to fill that void. He has a pretty big Instagram. It's just Peter Hahn.
I think I do follow. I think I know who you talk. I think I just need to see
You
his
might,
work. I know that name for sure.
yeah, because I know he's trying to. He actually worked with him, with Kim Jong-gi for a while, but I know he's trying to fill that void. He's trying to do that exact same, like doing, this ninja fighting this with a bunch, like really beautiful black and white in an ink pen, and I'm like, okay, that guy's trying to hit that same market.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys. Krasinski, what's his name? Krasinski? No. There's a guy I watch also, some German guy. I can't remember where he's from.
Oh.
He's a bicyclist, but they always compare him and Kim Jong-gi. He pencils in his stuff though. That guy, Steven, that guy.
Oh.
He has to pencil it in.
He bikes it. That's not T. No, I was gonna say T-U-G. That's somebody else.
I can't remember. I think his name is Karl Kopinski. Actually, is Karl Kopinski. He's a bicycle rider in his free time. That's kind of the main thing I remember. I was like,
all right, okay.
Because he got hit by a car. I mean, not that like a couple years ago. And I was like, oh, okay, that's a weird post that he put on his art account. He got hit by a car. Yeah.
It's funny actually you brought this up because it was something I was thinking as a topic, but we just kind of got talking, and but it was something I was thinking about this afternoon because I come across a quote that I had typed out like a year ago. And I was thinking about the whole idea of education, and taking art and is it? So I know a lot of people that can't afford to take art classes or go to art school, and they're trying to learn to be self-taught. And I was thinking of that as kind of a topic. Is it? Can you?
Make it without art.
Can you learn can you learn art without proper instruction? Can you learn it just on your own through watching videos and books? And I know you can kind of make some advancements, but I've always felt like you need somebody, even if it's online. In person's always better, of course, but you need some kind of guidance for if you want to learn art.
Yeah, I agree. I think you could do it, but it'll take a lot longer.
Yeah. I was watching. The quote was by shit. I'm drawing a blank on his name. He he's a guy who does the. We've talked about him before.
Who?
He does the podcast with Proco.
Oh, I knew. That's so funny. I thought about him. That's the first guy I thought about. The fact that you said that. So
the Draftsman.
Yeah. You're talking about Marshall Vandriff.
Marshall Vandriff, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I took a class, one of his seminars, 9 years ago. God, I love the way that guy talks. He deliberately, he pauses on purpose, like in a great way. I guess now it's natural, but he knows how to present stuff really dramatically. And I was watching his perspective DVDs from like the 80s. It was crazy, but they're really good. It's like really good information. I'm like, I didn't see that on YouTube. Because it's like too much information.
Yeah. I would love to find some of his older stuff if he's got stuff on YouTube. I know he has some, but yeah. Because he was talking about he was talking about teaching and some of the frustrations of teaching students, especially when you get students that are already fixed on this idea and you try and explain something to them, and a lot of times they're like they won't let go of it. It's like you try and explain a new way of being creative and they don't want to. It's like, well, I'm going to stick with this. And he says they have the blocks. They're blocks that they stay in, that their mindset is in. And I had typed it out. And he said, if you don't mind reading it for just a second.
Yeah, go for it. Not long. Yeah.
Because he says you can't teach creativity. Some students are so locked into some of those blocks and so proud of them that they will be creative in avoiding mastering creativity. You can create an environment for it. You can coach it. You can be a consultant. Be a consultant. Prompt it, and encourage it. But you can't teach it if they don't desire it, or their greater desire is to resist instruction.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And
I mean,
I've
like,
kind of seen that. When I heard that, I thought, yeah, I've seen people like that. You try and
mhm.
show them something, and they're so locked into this mindset that I'm going to just do it my way.
Oh yeah,
And
I know. Going
it's
there.
like,
So,
why are you in a class? Why are you bothering with this then? Like, you're
mhm.
obviously set on this, and somebody's trying to teach you something new and something different, and people don't want to pick up on it. So,
Yeah, I know a guy now. I'm not gonna say who it is because he does float around online, and I have a feeling this will get to him. Actually, you know,
uh,
I know we're not. I know us on this. You know, the channel's not huge or anything,
no,
but I have
you're
a strong feeling it'll get back to him. But
right.
he lives in San Diego, and he. Oh man, I'm trying to say like without cluing him. Well, I guess we'll find out. He used to work somewhere, and it's he. Forget that part. Okay, anyways, so
Okay.
he has this like style very similar to like comic artists in the '90s,
Mhm.
and but it's structurally crap. Like meaning like he's got like the cross hatching part of it down, like that style of cross hatching. He's got a lot of that stuff, all the superficial stuff. But
Mhm.
like sometimes when you draw like a head straight forward, like one eye will be here, and I'm like, bro, like your basics are terrible. Like
Wow.
like
Yeah.
I never said that to him, by the way.
Mhm.
But he was whining online once, and he was just trying to figure out why he couldn't sell more. Like, why could he not sell more? Because he's been pushing so hard at Comic-Con for like 30 years and stuff like that. And he was like, man, why can't I do this? And he asked a lot of people online, and I'm like, dude, like, I mean, he basically asked everybody, hey, what do you think of my art? And I wrote the nicest thing I could write, which
Mhm.
is, I think you just every guy, every artist I know goes back to the basics here and there, but I don't think you do. And it looked like he tried to start drawing the basics for like a day, because I saw him draw eyeballs for the first time
Mhm.
just on their own, isolated, and then he went right back to why am I not selling anything? You know, he needs to upgrade his skill by learning the basics better. I don't even know if he
Yeah.
knows the basics very well at all, and but like he's got all the cool cross hatching and shit going on. It does look okay. I mean, honestly, the artwork looks pretty bad usually, but sometimes it'll look passable.
Mhm.
Uh, but yeah, so I mean, that guy, I remember talking to that guy. Like, we talked in person, like I think like 8 years ago, and he just says like, and I told him I'm just concerned with getting better, trying to improve. I'm just concerned with the drawing, and his whole thing was, he looked like confused. Get better. What do you mean? Like, I just want to draw, man. All I want to do is do art. All I want to do is like, bro. Like, so he has his whole mindset's. Maybe he doesn't even think you
Mhm.
can improve.
Yeah. Because
So
that to me was always the thing this year. It's a lifelong thing to improve your art. I feel like I years ago, I feel like I lost a lot of my ability, and so now I'm still trying to kind of regain it. But I think it's an ongoing thing. I think that's something that, you're always learning to get better. That
I
should be
think
what art should be all about.
yeah. I think the more time you put into it, the better you get. Obviously, you know, like I said, I don't think I was ever better than when I was at Art Center, because at Art Center, they're forcing you to do stuff on a deadline over and over and over and over again, and I never was better technically at art
Mhm.
than when I was there. Um, and I remember doing pieces there where I'm like, oh, I can't even do that right now. Like, I'm like,
Mhm.
or I'd have to try to get back to that point. That's another reason for school, by the way. So they'll force you to do stuff you don't want to do in the moment. Um, you know, that
Mhm.
you just like, I remember they'll be like, oh, this illustration is done by the end of the week, and normally I'd be lazy and just kind
Mhm.
of procrastinate it, but I'm like, oh no, I can't procrastinate it because this person's gonna harass me in class if
Yeah.
I if it's late. He's gonna make me look bad, because I saw him make people cry. Like, some of the teachers make people cry there if they were late or crummy or whatever.
Jeez.
But yeah, I couldn't do it on my own. But then there's some people I know who are awesome and they learned on their own. There's a friend I have. Her name is Marina. Sorry, I would say Marina. Whatever. Her name is TWONIE on Instagram. Twoni. I don't know what that means. She's from Ukraine. And I remember I met her like last year, and she's completely self-taught, and she's better than most of my art friends I
All
went to
right,
school
eh?
with. Yeah, she's awesome, and she's a machine. That's the thing. I'm wondering if it's just like the being super introverted. She's a machine. Like, I remember we'll be doing sketch hangouts, and she'll completely finish something where I would be like, wow, that would take me like a week to do, but you're
Yeah.
just doing that all right now. Yeah, she just has no focus. That's her problem. She'll do like this style of art, then this style, then do oil painting, then do this, then
Wow.
do that. You know, She needs to do one thing.
Mhm.
Right now, she's a teacher. She teaches kids art up in a little bit north of here. Like 40 minutes north. So I haven't seen her all summer because she's been busy with that. But yeah, she's like probably the rarity though, in my opinion. She's probably the only person I know that never had instruction, but really does really, really well, you know. To the point where I thought she was instructed. That was the thing. Where I even asked her, I said, hey, where did you learn? She's like, no, I never learned anywhere. It's like, oh, what the hell? Let me see. I'm on many art sites and see where folks struggle. I can take criticism, but some folks you need to be gentle. That's true. I don't know if you want to read that.
Yeah, I seen come. He had one before there.
Am I okay? Am I lagging? Am I right?
Yeah.
I'm lagging?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. No, it's just we had a couple of statements, but how many hours?
You have to tell them straight out, by the way, I think.
What's that?
The creative criticism. How do you tell someone creative criticism properly? I think just telling them point blank is better. I know you do the, what is it?
You're gonna have to.
The compliment sandwich. I guess that also works. You know, the good, then you sandwich the bad part, and then you end with good again.
I'll tell you something, because he says some folks you need to be gentle. And when I went to school for animation, they're trying to teach you. They're trying to teach you a. This isn't like an. When you're learning animation, they're trying to help you develop the skills to get into a studio and work. And there's high expectations in the studio, and they try to prepare you for that. So it's not like they're just teaching you art and to be artsy and to be creative and there's no introspection. No, you're actually learning. It's like plumbing or electric. Like you're learning a craft and you're learning a skill that has to be done a certain way and meet expectations when you get into a studio. And they were not nice. They laid shit out like I remember one instructor would write lame. He would circle what was wrong and he'd write lame across the bottom. He's like, here, if you want to do it again. But this is like not acceptable. Like, wow. Okay. Yeah, they were pretty brutal. But they had to be because you have 3 years to learn how to learn these skills to get you into studios.
I wonder if that's why Art Institute down here closed down in San Diego. There was an Art Institute, not anything like, because they all have the same art in their name, right? Art Institute. So like, are they even around anymore? Because I remember that school produced trash. I remember that really. Because me and my buddy would go there. My buddy worked for, I forget, a t-shirt company, and we went down there to the graduation stuff. And I can't remember what major we're looking at, and it looked like stuff my little cousin would do now.
Wow.
And my cousin's like 8 years old. And we were like, man, why does everybody suck coming out of Art Institute San Diego? Bad. I'm just wondering if that led to their shutdown. I know, I don't remember. That was weird. But,
wow.
And they had like $150,000 debt in that school. That's like, it was insane.
Wow. Jeez.
But, they're all with me at SeaWorld.
I remember one of the instructors even made a statement, something like we're not your mom and we're not going to stick your work on the refrigerator. You want to do that, go home. But yeah, they were really brutal.
I think that works better if people haven't been drawing their whole life. You know, I think because people they have been drawing their whole life have an ego over it sometimes. And then people who just kind of started late don't really care. It's like, oh, okay, this sucks. All right, whatever. Who cares? But yeah, I wish there was like a yearbook for that school I went to. I want to know where people are now, and I just lost track of so many people.
I remember there was one. I can't think of his name. One of my fellow classmates who was, we all thought, and he was fantastic. This guy was just an incredible artist. Like, we knew he was going to go places. And he animated, because this was now 1990 or so. And he drew The Little Mermaid, drew Ariel swimming in a circle and then kind of reaching. And he wanted it critiqued. He wanted an honest critique on it. And the one instructor, and I stood there and watched this. I had everybody talked about this for ages, and there was a few of us that were standing around watching. And one of my instructors, Wayne Gilbert, who is he's still teaching today, and for like he's well-known animator and teacher. He picked that, he ripped that thing apart. He went through it, and her wrist is changing size, her face is not consistent. We all thought it would flip through. That looked amazing. It's like, no, he like just tore into that, said every little thing that was wrong with that thing. But that guy, though, that guy that drew that went on to win an Academy Award because he was one of the animators for Dragonheart.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
Dragonheart with Sean Connery?
Yep.
Wow. Wait, was that soon after then? So I thought that movie came out only like 95 or something.
Right? Yeah, he ended up not even finishing. I don't think he even went into third year because he was so good. He kept working hard at what he did. I think he got work right out of second year. He didn't even finish the third year. Yeah.
That's cool. That's fun. I think I told you before, the least talented guy in my class went on to be the most successful guy because because of the whole I guess because his 3D was so good. He knew he would embrace every single program that came out because everybody knew how to paint and draw figures. In my major, it was only like 20 people, and I was like, why is this guy here? Like, he was 19 and he was terrible. And I was like, and then I saw all his 3D stuff, and he specialized in more cityscapes and stuff like that. And that was why. But then I remember he stayed similar. Yeah, what you just said. Yeah, I was like 2 years in, he went to work somewhere, but I know he ended up at ILM and then worked on like Transformers. He worked on a bunch, like everywhere. Like he went to Pixar also. He went to Pixar and ILM, and he was bouncing around all over the place, and he was doing like every project. I was like, damn, this is amazing. I don't know where he is now, but like he already had like a full career, and it's only been like 10 years. He's probably like a vet in the industry now. Oh shit.
I wish I could go back and kind of retrain myself, because I when I finished, I came through like at the worst possible time, because as I started working at Nelvana, things were changing. It'd be like Toy Story had just come out, and everything was kind of switching to computers. And to try and get back into studios, everybody was asking, "What do you know about computers?" And I like barely knew what a mouse was at that time, so I was still doing everything by hand, and I kind of gave up on it at that point. But I kind of wish I had. I wish I'd kind of tried to find some way of sticking it out and learning it somehow. But
yeah, because like social media wasn't around though. But now there's always a place for traditional art, I think, in social media.
Yeah.
If you can't do gallery work or something like that.
Actually, there was an animated series somewhere in like the late 90s, early 2000s that was about college students, and the guy who invented the series wanted to try and revive it. And I sent in a portfolio package. I sent in some work and even drew some of the characters, and never heard back. And I thought it was because of maybe COVID, but apparently still picked up on it, but I never got back from them. So I don't think they accepted my stuff. I was like, fuck you.
I thought you saw that they used your stuff or something. I thought that was going to go down that road.
No. I just sent them a few samples of a few of my own works and some designs and that. And I also drew the characters. I went back, found the old model sheets for the original series. I forget what it was called. It was to do with college students or something. And I can't think of it. It wasn't a great series or anything, but I thought I would try and get on it, but never heard back after I sent the.
Did you see that video game where the guy what did he make it out of? I think he either hand painted the sprite, or he made it out of yarn or something. I'm not joking. He did some. I can't remember what the gimmick was, but he made a video game where literally the sprite, he like hand painted it, or like every little frame. Obviously you can reuse them and stuff like that. I don't remember if it's that or he literally knitted it or something. I have to Google it and look it up.
He painted every frame of film.
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember. It's a video game though. I'm gonna Google it. If I find it, I'll send you the link. But I remember being like, "Well, that's a crazy gimmick." Yeah, I don't know what it's called. I don't remember.
Oh, the Undergrads. That was the name of the series. But,
Undergrads. I never saw that. Is that in the? How old was this?
2001. Okay. That was a little before that, but it started in 2001. I don't think it only did like a season or two.
Oh, wow. I never heard of that. That's weird, too, because that was like in the era where I was really watching a lot of TV. I'm surprised I missed that. Was that Canadian only, or was that an American show, too?
No, it was an American show, I believe. Yeah.
Huh.
First up. Oh, no, it does say. Let me go back again. It says Canada. Maybe it was. MTV, Teletoon Canada. Oh, okay, no, it's just the release date for Canada, but no, it's produced in the U.S.
Oh, okay.
It's combo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't watch a lot of MTV back then. I don't know. I never I missed Beavis and Butthead. I missed a lot of that stuff. Daria.
Interesting. At the time, I thought it was obnoxious.
Oh, really?
Everybody loved it.
I
I thought it was just so annoying.
I haven't. I kind of missed the boat on that. Even now, like I haven't seen it. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I love King of the Hill. I know he went on to make that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't. And I think they're gonna bring back King of the Hill. I heard. I keep hearing that they're gonna bring him back.
One of the voice actors died.
Yeah. But that wasn't like a main character or anything. They could probably.
Oh, I thought it was one of the. Yeah,
was it
wasn't
Boomhauer? It was Boom. Yeah, I think it was Boomhauer. But I'm saying it wasn't like Hank or anything. Well, Hank is done by the creator, I think, right?
Yeah, I don't know if they will or not. But
well, I heard they were trying to bring it back, but it was going to be 20 years later. Like he was going to animate everybody the way.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, they're going to age them up, you know, and see where they're at. I was like, God, what a crazy idea! I've never heard of that because usually I'll see them. I guess Rugrats did that. I guess if I really want to.
Oh, is that right? Oh.
Well, yeah, Rugrats did all growed up, right? So they're all like teenagers.
I
watched that or
Rugrats a little bit here and there. I remember watching the movie actually with somebody who got the movie, and it was.
Well, I mean, did you hear about that though? They all growed up. They made a series of them all like in their high school days.
I think I did hear something about that, but I never saw.
Okay, me neither. Actually, I kind of saw the commercials. That was past when I was watching that, but but I knew it existed. I knew it went on for a while too. I was like, what? Like they made a whole other series, but everyone's in their teen years. That's bizarre.
I remember watching the late 90s. For some reason, I thought the show was hilarious, but it was kind of tacky. Was Duckman? I think.
Yeah, Duckman was cool. I watched that back in the day. I watched a few episodes. I think that's something I would love now. I'm gonna go back.
Yeah,
it was on my list. That really feels like I might have been too young to really appreciate
sarcastic humor, but yeah, I remember thinking
it was like USA. Jason Alexander, I think, right?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, his delivery on some of that was really funny.
Yeah, I think I saw a clip of it lately in a meme, and I'm like, dude, I gotta go back and watch that because I saw one episode as a little kid, and I was like, what? Like, I don't get it.
Apparently, though, the series ended on a cliffhanger and it got canceled, so it never actually completed itself. Yeah,
I hate when shows do that. Like, I watched. There was this thing called. It was a Spider-Man series that only lasted a season. I think it only lasted like 8 episodes. I think it's called something. I don't remember. It's where Spider-Man goes to another planet and there's like a bunch of like anthropomorphized like animals that run the planet or something.
Oh, okay. I think I remember something about that.
Yeah, I watched it. It was whatever. I wasn't a big fan back in the day, and they brought it up lately since all the Spider-Man stuff is really big. But I remember that ended up like total cliffhanger. Like I mean mid-fight kind of thing.
Oh geez. And then it never finished.
It never finished. Yeah, and I remember being like, "Well, that's
frustrating."
Yeah. I think Futurama ended like that a couple times too, right? But it keeps coming back, and it just came back I think lately. So.
What? Sorry, what was that? Which one again?
Futurama. That happened.
Oh, Futurama. Yes. Yeah.
There's a couple, right? Wasn't there a few cliffhangers where they got canceled on like twice or something? I thought there was like literally 1 or 2 where.
Well, they did kind of. The series just sort of ended. I know it wasn't necessarily on a cliffhanger, but then they did a series of 4 movies, and then they brought the series back again. But they actually kind of wrapped it up. They ended it. They actually sort of.
I remember that with didn't they end it with the movies though? I thought the movies kind of wrapped it up. No.
Well, I think it sort of was supposed to, and then there was such demand to bring the series back that they brought it back again. But I
haven't seen it. Have you seen it since it started? I think they're airing them they're releasing them 1 week at a time. But my sister saw it. My sister doesn't like it at all. Like she loved the old series, and she said she doesn't like the new one. But I don't know. I'm curious. I'm gonna check it out because like the way the Simpsons. Simpsons fell off a cliff around season like 11 or something. 12, 14
years.
Yeah, like maybe I think for me it was like the last season where I just couldn't bear it anymore. It was probably like season 15 where I stayed too long, and I'm like, why? And I think a lot of that was in their delivery. It wasn't just the writing was bad, which it was, but I mean, it was a lot of the delivery. Everything was like, what? Like everything was overacting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? You were a fan of that too, right? Or
What, Simpsons? Yeah, the
Yeah.
early stuff. But yeah, I agree. Yeah, it lost me in around where you said, yeah, 11, 12. I sort of gave up on it. I remember trying to go back and watch it and just
Right.
couldn't. It just wasn't working for me. And I don't know how it stuck out for like 35 years, but somehow
I
it is.
know. My canary in the coal mine for that was my parents, because in the old seasons my parents would watch it also. They're like, "Oh, this is hilarious! Oh my gosh!" Like season 7 and stuff like that. And then I think my parents hadn't seen it for a few years, and we were watching it, I think, living room, and my mom was, I think it was like season like 14, and my mom was like, "Why do they sound all stupid? Like what? Like that's dumb. Like why why are you guys watching this? This is trash." And I was like, "Oh yeah, this got really bad." And then I think I heard, this is what I heard. I heard that's still worth money as a property. So like they came out with that Simpson phone game. It was an iPad game in 2017, I believe.
Okay.
And they said it sold way more than they ever thought it was going to sell. So I guess like as a property, it's worth something, but the show is barely chugging along. It barely exists, the show. But
yeah.
But they still have Simpson World at Universal Studios and shit like that. I get Bart Simpson as a character, I guess, is still like Mickey Mouse, and
it's still something bankable, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's sad. I wish they would just go in.
I've been I wasn't been enjoying Bob's Burgers actually for the last few years. I really enjoy that.
I never watched that. Did you know that? I only seen one episode. I thought it was okay, and then everybody tells me I should just take a shot at it. So that's on my list too. I'll watch.
Yeah, it got kind of addictive, and it's still kind of hit and miss. There's some really good episodes and some that are not as good, but there's some moments and some that are really funny. Because I think the cast is all made up of stand-up comedians, and I think some of it is improvised, and I think that's why, especially the guy that does the kid named Gene, who's the boy, who's the middle kid, who just randomly comes out with things some of it's really funny, just like random off the wall, where he takes what somebody else says and goes a completely different direction with it and says something just off the wall, and it's really funny. So I'm like, hilarious. That had to have been improvised. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
That's probably one of my most disappointing things about Vince, actually, is because like everyone I know has like, the Simpsons and their, like a lot of their humor was formed by that show. Like at least people our age, and up, like probably anybody between like, I don't know, 35 and like 55, I feel was kind of molded by that show. Growing up, and I'll say like 2 words and they'll get the joke, that kind of thing. But he missed it. He was, and I know why, because the Cosby Show aired at the exact same time, and he watched the Cosby Show, and I never saw the Cosby Show. But I remember on every Simpsons commentary, they would say they were always up against the Cosby Show, always. Yeah. So they were the same time slot. And the thing is, he loves Futurama, and I'm like, bro, I can't believe. And he tried to watch Simpsons now, and he's like, this first season is terrible. I'm like, bro, yeah, season 1, I get it's gonna suck because it's all Tracy Ullman show. It's more; those are more quaint, like to look back on. But
yeah, absolutely.
I can understand, if somebody's watching. I
remember
it now,
all that.
like, yeah, Santa's Little Helper, all that stuff.
Oh yes, yeah. But I remember all that. I remember that was a big deal when the Simpsons, because it bumped the Cosby Show. The Cosby Show was number 1, and Simpsons bumped it, and that was a big deal at the time. That was like, everyone was like, "Holy crap! Where did this come out of nowhere?" Bart Simpson was on everything. Bart Simpson was on T-shirts and toys and memorabilia, everything. It was all over the place.
I didn't like their toys until 2001, because I remember thinking their toys were kind of janky looking and weird and would fade. Some of them would fade really fast. I felt like 2001 it's released these action figures that you set on sets, and I'm like, these are really good.
A friend of mine
these
collected all those.
What's up?
I knew somebody that collected all those.
Oh yeah, well that's me too. Yeah. You got me now. I was buying every single one of those when it came out. I'm like, this will be worth something one day, and then I think I bought so many of those, and then I think I'm like that same guy at the comic store that, like his 90s comics they're not worth anything. But same thing. I remember I looked back on them 5 years ago, and I'm like, I wonder how much this stuff is that's in my garage. And I'm like, it's the same, almost all of it's the same price, if not less. because they produce so much of it. I didn't buy a lot of the rare ones. You know,
Because I thought
I think there's like
the first set, which is basically the basic costume set, is difficult to find. But you can get like there's like Sunday best figures where they're dressed up for church, and there's variances.
Yeah,
but the original set apparently is hard to get.
I guess so. I don't know. I was looking through them, and they're not. Even the stuff I have that is worth a little bit more, it's not that much more. Like I got the Halloween set that's worth, I think like $50, and I bought it for $25. I mean, that's good, but I'm like, I'd rather just have the figure if that's the point. I'm like, would I pay $50 for this figure? I might. You know, it's pretty damn good. So you know what I mean? It's not. There's nothing there that's like $5,000 in my stuff or anything.
You know?
But I remember I did that, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna open these. I double checked every price, quadruple checked it. And I'm like, you know, I'm just gonna open these up. Fuck it. Like they're gonna take up less space. I can have set up in the garage. I can just play with it.
The display, yeah.
I know. I bought them 20 years ago, and I'm like, finally, I can just display them properly without the boxes that are like, you know, because that's the thing. When I would go to cons, like little comic cons, I'd always see like a bunch of the stuff I have, and they're worth, it's like so much is worth nothing. It's like, oh, this is like $20. I'm like, wow, I bought that for $30. Like now it's $20. Like ancient McFarlane figures and
oh geez,
yeah, I always got unlucky with stuff like that.
I used to have a huge collection of Godzilla stuff, and I miss it. I'm thinking of maybe collecting the odd little figure here again, just because I miss some of them. But I don't get on the thing where I had to be like a completist and finish like entire sets. But this is the odd one I want to get. Oh, those are the super deformed ones. I didn't have those. I had the standard Bandai 6-inch ones. I had the whole lineup.
Yeah, I like the Death for Real. I like the Death for Real ones. I got really addicted to that because somebody sold me
they used to call them, but
yeah, somebody sold me one cheaper than it should have been, and I just got super addicted to collecting them. So I have like, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I used to really like what the Yuji Saki, I think they were called. They were little mini dioramas about this big. The figures about that big, and they'd be on a diorama that was a scene from a movie. One of the a scene from one of the movies, and I love those things. They were a little pricey, but they were incredible detail for a figure that was that big.
Everything is pricey from Godzilla. I noticed,
but I miss those ones. Oh, that reminds me. There was apparently a Godzilla store that opened, like an American Godzilla store that has a brick and mortar store somewhere, but also is online.
Can you send me the link online? I'd like to check it out.
Yeah, I'll have to dig it up again, but I can get it because they were posting it all over the Godzilla groups and Facebook. But yeah, I'll definitely.
Because normally when a store comes out, I don't know, you're probably the same way. I'll try to like haggle on eBay or like these groups, or I'll find, God, I found some of these that should have been $300, but you find them from people who just want to get rid of a bunch of them, and they're not super sure what they have, and I'll be like, oh, I got that for $50. I'm like, that's great. That should have been $300.
Yeah. Shipping is on eBay.
Yeah, I don't get anything for collection anymore though. I just get stuff because I like the way it looks. Or designed. That's it. I don't get, I'm done buying stuff as an investment.
Yeah, I used to do that too, and I don't anymore. Now it's just because I like it. I didn't want it on the shelf. So
yeah, there's some wild figurines, right? I don't know what there's a bunch of different. I know you've seen them, right? Like super detailed, but they're like giant Godzilla figures, like really giant ones, and they're like $8,000, 20, $10,000, and it's like because I had money in my savings at one point, and I was like, should I get that? Because Comic-Con had this really beautiful, I think it was Shin Godzilla, and really detailed. It was like $8,000, and I'm like, am I dumb enough to buy this with my savings?
Yeah.
But I did not.
I wouldn't spend that much, but
I'd be gathering up dust in the corner. I mean, it would still for display, right? So I'd have to clean it up. All right, and Phil, I gotta go. It's like 11. It's an hour and a half. That is my time. Now I gotta eat.
Oh, all right, okay.
But yeah,
we were going to throw it earlier, and I forgot, but it was something to do with the animated series. But next week starts, for those that are into it, the Star Trek animated series is back on again, so I'm watching that.
Really?
One. The
Which one?
Lower Deck.
Upper Deck. I gotta watch it. I haven't seen it. I want to watch it.
I actually really got a kick out of it. I didn't think I'd like it at first, and then I got hooked on it. I really enjoy it now. So, but
yeah, I heard the same feedback from somebody else. Somebody literally told me almost what you just said.
Yeah. So
I want to see it now. But all right, I'll let you go.
Talk to
you later.
All right. Have a good night. Thanks, Enrique. We'll be in touch.
All right.
Cheers.
All right,
and that is it, I guess, for the night. I guess I'll call it here because it's been a long night. So Apparently I still have 3 people watching, I think. But yeah, if you've been watching, thank you. And I'll be back on again next Wednesday. I don't know if I'll be able to have a guest on or not. It won't be Enrique, but I'll have be doing a show either way. So thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next week.